Hi guys, I'm back with another Filipino recipe, and today we are going to make sinigang, and here are the ingredients. First, we need tamarind seasoning mix. You can get any brand, and this is available in Asian stores. Next is some frozen okra, but you can of course use fresh ones. I'm just using frozen because they're cheaper. You also need onions. I have 3 onions. And here I have jalapenos, 3 fresh jalapenos. I also need 3 Roma tomatoes. This one is called Edo root. We call this gabi in the Philippines, and they're like family of a taro root or something. We also need eggplant, and here I have daikon radish. We also have some spinach, and then for the proteins I'm using shrimp and some pork as well. In preparing the vegetables like the tomatoes, onions, and Edo root, I just cut them mostly into quarters to keep them into big chunks because I don't want them to get so mushed as they cook and get lost in the dish. For the radish, I just cut both ends, and I always peel them because I feel like the radish skin, no matter how much I wash it, it's still a little bit dirty, so I just peel them off every time. And for slicing, I just slice it diagonally, and again, I'm still keeping them into big chunks for the same reason I said before. So while you guys are watching me prep the Edo root, I just want to give a shout out to one of my YouTube friends who loves Filipino food, and that is the BeauTeeFour Family. If you guys love watching family vlogs, then you should definitely check her channel. I'm going to leave her link in the description box below. Now for the eggplant, I'm just going to use half of it because this eggplant is like too big. So just cut that in half and keep the other half. Maybe you can fry it. I'm just gonna slice the eggplant diagonally and keeping them in big chunks so that they don't get mushed up while they cook. For the onions, I'm just gonna cut them into quarters like I did with the tomatoes. In a pot, I'm just gonna pour in hot water. Now for the amount of water, you can see that in the packaging of the tamarind mix. And at this point, I'm going to add the onions as well as the tomatoes. And I'm just going to cover this and let it boil for a couple of minutes. Now I have a separate pot and it has boiling water in it. I want to boil the pork for a couple of minutes just so that I can remove the gunk because I don't want that in a soup. So I'm just gonna let this boil for about 5 to 10 minutes tops. Now on this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of salt. Yes, that's just a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons of salt. Now this has been boiling for about 10 minutes and all the gunks floating, and I'm just gonna discard all of the water. And I'm gonna go ahead and transfer the pork into our bigger pot right here, just like so. I'm going to cover this pot and let it cook for about 30 minutes. The pork has been cooking for 30 minutes and it is time to add the tamarind mix into our soup. I'm gonna add the vegetables now, and the first thing I want to add is the jalapeno. jalapenos. So I'm just gonna add the radish as well, because radish is the one that takes the longest to cook. After adding all of the radish, I'm just going to cover it again and let it cook for about 10 minutes. The next thing I'm gonna add will be the arrowroot, and I'm going to let this cook for 5 to 7 minutes, but I'm gonna skip the part where I showed you that I covered it. And then after 5 to 7 minutes of cooking, we are now ready to add the eggplant. So this is where I'm adding the eggplant. This is after 5 to 7 minutes of cooking the arrowroot. I just thought I needed to clear that part. At this point, I just want to add the okra as well. So I'm just gonna put all of that and mix it around and cover it. Let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes again. Alright, so the last vegetable we're gonna add is the spinach, because they cook so fast. Like, it literally takes a minute to cook them. And lastly, we are going to add our cooked shrimp and just let this boil for about a minute, because we don't want to overcook the shrimp. And it is ready to serve. Yeah, so normally we just serve it with white rice like so. And that's it, guys, it's done. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll see you on my next one. Goodbye.